Saruman has grown too powerful and now looks to overthrow Sauron. However, he will not sit idly by, so he has called his loyal men to him once more, and a siege battle is about to kick off. Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish, and welcome back once again to another glorious online battle. Today, we are diving into a live engagement because this battle map kept on crashing for them, so we decided to go ahead and do it live, but that should make it even more enjoyable as we can see the players' decisions unfolding before our very eyes. So we are also taking a look at the brand new update for Rise of Mordor that has just come out. I'll leave a link down below in the description for you guys to check out, and it adds in a ton of stuff. A lot of like polishing for a handful of the factions in the mod, which I think just look amazing. I believe the Orc Rabble, these are Orc Warriors, but Orc Rabble have now got a brand new kind of update to their model, and we'll see that in the midst of battle. I can't quite seem to pick them out. Dunland, who are being brought into this engagement, have got basically a complete revamp, having their models looking very, very different to what they were before. Again, just kind of cleaning them up a little bit, adding them to the mod and giving them more of the new assets and stuff like that. The Easterlings have some amazing new units, probably some of my most favorite units in the entire mod now. I mean, just take a look at these bad boys right here. Absolutely spectacular. And these goddamn flags. Oh, I am one for banners and flags, and yeah, this unit is just absolutely amazing. They've killed it, knocked it out of the park with this one. The Easterlings now look like a scary ass faction, which I would not want to be able to have to deal with. So we've got them. We also have a brand new sapper unit model for the Isengard forces. So the sappers now have these explosives on their back and ready to go in with a torch in a hand and a blade as well. So again, they look amazing. You can see a few more armor pieces for the forces of Isengard as well have been added. So basically a ton of more assets being, you know, replaced and put into the mod and basically just touched up. As well as that, there is also like 6 more maps. This is one of them that we are playing. I think by the looks of it, it's going to be a Dunland settlement. And as you can see, the settlement itself has plenty of defenses. It's a really large scale one. I love the design of it, as you have plenty of ways to attack, but also plenty of choke points for the defenders to keep hold. Lots of different sections to the map itself, and I love this kind of upgoing hill. There is also kind of that fantasy element of it, as well as there's a passage and also a fight down here in the bottom part of this kind of just below the hill, defending the rear of it, and there'll be a nice little fight out here with some archers covering this outwards field. And you actually see some of the Mordor rabble right here. Now you can see some of their new armor pieces, just like kind of lightly armored, and if you're into feet as well, you can take a look at them old gobbo feet. And this place out here will basically be defending the rear of the settlement, and then if the attackers can get through there, they can then make their way up and attack the back of the defenders right here. So again, a really awesome map. I think there's like 6 in total, 3 more siege maps, as well as 3 more land maps, and a ton of new units. They've absolutely done an amazing job with this update, so I want to go ahead and give them a massive, massive shout out. And we're going to go ahead and see how this map plays with some of the brand new units. So I'll tell the players to go, 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 and we'll let this battle get kicked off. We'll see how the defenders can hold this settlement, and we'll see how the attackers can perform. Also, do I have my music on as well? Let's just double check. My music is on, but it's seeming like it's not firing quite yet, but I'm sure it will come in. So yeah, in today's scenario for the battle, like, we have the forces of Dunland and Isengard defending the settlement, and Mordor and the Easterlings attacking. So I thought it was kind of a cool way of setting up this battle as the artillery comes raining in. It was like a cool way of setting up the battle, as it's kind of like, you know, Saruman has kind of got a bit too powerful, bit too big for his boots, and he's kind of trying to take the one ring for himself, and maybe Sauron doesn't like that, so he's mustered together his orcs and also his men from the forces of the Easterlings, and he is ready to bring them down. So the first couple artillery strikes are now coming in, bombarding the front wall. Obviously, opening up these breaches is going to be a very, very good idea. So obviously, let me know in the comments down below, guys, as well, what you guys think of this new update. Are you a big fan of it? Are you going to be playing it? Are you going to be downloading it? I highly recommend you do, because some of the new changes, and especially the new maps as well. I don't know if you guys have seen the Kolandros map. It looks amazing. Really, really cool stuff. As we have a nice little push up here as the Orc Rabble. So actually, you get to see the Orc Rabble in action. Oh yeah, we also get to see some of the more other Mordor units as well, if you guys haven't seen. They now have a new dedicated cavalry unit. The Servants of the Eye, the Númenóreans, or Black Númenóreans, are now being added. So here's another Mordor unit. Again, just really nice assets being added to the mod now, and like, yeah, they're just doing really, really well. They've definitely come a long way since they took over the mod. Oh, and this unit as well. Okay. The other unit I said was my favorite. No, this one's definitely my favorite. I mean, just look at these banners. Such a cool unit, man. The Easterlings are just, they have such a diverse roster now. They have their kind of dedicated Easterling kind of setup, and now they have these bad boys as well. Looks really, really good, and obviously some Lancer cavalry as well. I mean, oh my god, I mean, what's not to love here, right? What's not to love right there? Oh, they just look so goddamn good. They really, really do. So I can't wait to see how they perform in battle. But yeah, as I said, you know, make sure to go check out the mod. The update's been great. They've done an amazing job with this one, and I'm sure it's only going to get better and better. Apparently, there's something big coming in a couple months' time, so we'll have to keep an eye open for that. So, yeah, so far, the attackers haven't quite pushed up. They're just continuing to make the breaches, continuing to use this powerful artillery to open up. You can see the Orc warriors unloading their shots. I'm probably going to keep some of that ammunition in stock, just obviously to help them out when it comes to any choke points, as this map does have a fair few of them. Obviously, when the attackers break through the wall defense, they'll have to then try their best to get through all these positions back here, which might prove a little bit more difficult than they were anticipating. Obviously, you've got these awesome stones here. These are the defensive capabilities of just slowing up your opponents, leaving them very vulnerable to missile fire. You've obviously got the Uruk pikes as well. Oh my god, look at this guy. He's posing for the gram. Did you guys see him? Yeah, look at him. He is posing for that gram. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. And even some of the Isengard units as well have some new assets stuck into them, which is really, really cool. And I believe also along some Gondorians have got some new assets, and there's a few other things elsewhere, which is really, really cool. So yeah, a massive, massive mod update for sure. So I'm just going to jump ahead a little bit, let the battle play out just until we get a little bit closer, as it seems like the players are mainly just focusing on the kind of destroying parts of the map. So I'm going to jump ahead until the players are a little bit closer to getting stuck in the combat, whether it is the battle down here in the bottom or if it is the battle up there on the walls. Okay, the first couple volleys are now launching as the archers are getting stuck in. We have some really cool looking Dunland units, and it does seem like another piece of a wall has now gone down, opening this breach point up to a double-pronged attack from both sides here. Seems like the ground, there you go, sorted itself out. So yeah, the attackers can get a lot of infantry through this gap right here, push up here and just try and attack the men from Dunland. And as you can see, some of the more assets is being added in, kind of lightly armored, kind of chest armor, but it's not really chest armor, it's like broken. So stuff like this has just kind of been added to Dunland again to make them feel very tribal, which is cool. The archer fight is kind of duking out now with the Uruk archers, who are more than capable of dealing with the ranger. However, a few of them are being set ablaze, as we do have the Orc rabble being charged forward by Canary Boy. They're going to get stuck himself in with these Orc rabble, who are basically here just to die. That's the job of the Orc rabble. You can also see as well they have some new weapons stuck on them as well. Does seem like we do have a nice assaulting force here. The brave charge of these awesome axes getting through all the traps. Actually, it seems like the traps were probably cleared out by the Orc rabble. However, this might be a suicide mission for these brave warriors. I mean, look at them go. However, archer fire is coming in at all, painful positions and trying to bring them down. However, they're not going to stop them. They are going to get stuck in with the support of the Orc rabble, who have been pushed up here. So if these axes can get stuck in and avoid this missile fire, they are going to be absolutely deadly. And they're going to rip through these Orc scouts and the rest of the Mordor rabble. It's kind of confusing because there's two Mordor rabble on either side. Isengard have also brought forward their Orcs, who I guess they've corrupted into serving Saruman. Saruman. So we'll have to see what Orc rabble made the right decision. Down here we do have a force of Dunland being pushed out here. Just some lightly armored axes, some tribal warriors with their hatchets and their cleavers and other weapons. Just being tired out by the Orc rabble so far, making room for basically the rest of the siege equipment to be brought up. If we take a look at this, you can see the siege towers are still advancing slowly but surely. On this side, we have some Orc pillagers just hiding away, ready to be pushed up. I mean, look at the legions of Mordor being thrown forward. Also, Mordor do have another special unit. I don't know if I'll be able to find them. Yeah, here they are right here. Mordor have another unit alongside that cavalry. And again, you can see them right here. looking amazing. I mean, oh, just awesome. I can't wait to see them just add more and more to these factions because the new armor assets are just so goddamn cool. So it does seem like the Orc rabble are now breaking, unfortunately. However, the axes are being brought forward. Sorry, I'm lighting an Attila sometimes. You have to kind of just look for the new angle. And here we go. This is one of the new Dunland units. We have wolves now in the game. So there's just so, you can see this patch is absolutely ram-packed with units. And sorry, there's a little bit of lag because we're having to play this battle live. We're going to get a little bit of stutter here and there, but I don't think it's that bad whatsoever. So yeah, there's really cool new wolf models that have been added to the game. That's really cool because, you know, that does kind of pave the way for wargs and stuff like that, which we might get seeing how they perform. Because, you know, just make the wolves a bit bigger and a bit crawlier, then you have wargs all of a sudden. Then maybe Isengard can get warg riders. We'll have to see how that does pan out. I absolutely love this unit though, with the banners. Oh my gosh, this looks amazing. Such a cool unit. But anyway, I'll stop saying that because I know I've said it like 7 times and I'm sure you guys get very annoyed when I repeat myself over and over and over again. But I feel like I am justified in saying that. So with the Orc rabble being thrown up, they're definitely acting as a meat shield for these arrows. However, the archers have now been brought back, which is obviously a very smart decision. It now allows these guys to chain their angle of archers onto the infantry from the Easterlings being thrown up. And I mean, honestly, it doesn't seem like the attackers have committed enough to this section of the wall, and it might quite easily be thrown back, and then the defenders can basically secure this rear defense very nicely. It does seem, however, that the siege towers are almost at the walls and are actually on the walls over on this side of the settlement as it starts to burn. So you can see some of the Orc infantry, again, just Orc rabble, I believe, being thrown forward first, looking to get stuck in at the immediate parts of the battle. Again, obviously a unit that is supposed to just tire out their opponents, take the first couple javelin volleys, and then pave the way for more of the elite infantry. They have also made another breach right here with their artillery, so obviously making great use of that artillery piece as more and more of the settlement does burn. And that does come into play. As the settlement damage does ramp up, the defenders do start to get a debuff. So if they can spread this fire far and wide enough, that will obviously come into play and start to hurt the defenders quite heavily. Obviously, they're going to need to try their best to get more and more of these breaches unlocked. It does seem like another breach point is just about to get created as that shot just goes overhead. But I'm sure the next couple volleys will find their mark on this part of the wall. And again, they want to try their best to connect their attacks as best as possible. So I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe some of these siege towers going into this part of the wall and just trying to kind of dominate certain parts, because that's one of the hardest things as the attackers when you're attacking from separate parts of the settlement, is connecting up your defenses, or your attacking forces, sorry. And once they are connected, you end up doing much, much better. Over on here, we are getting another charge. Orc warriors now, so they've been upgraded from Orc rabble, and now the Orc warriors are going to come in. And again, I think even the Orc warriors had a little bit of touching up with a few more armor pieces, I think mainly on their arm. You can see kind of they've got a little bit more armor added to them as more assets are being created. See the arrows just flying and then coming in, and the forces of Isengard don't really care if they end up killing the forces of Mordor don't really care if they end up killing their own soldiers. They're up for, you know, as long as they break through this, numbers don't matter. And this is one insanely large battle as well. Over 20,000 soldiers in this engagement, and we're doing it live as well. Normally the live does chug when we've got this many men, but luckily, yeah, I guess I should give a big shout out to everyone playing in this battle, as you guys, you know, do help out the channel massively. And because we're doing it live as well, you know, it puts a bit of strain on their computers, but, you know, they're holding firm, just like the men of Dunland, against the Orc rabble charging forward at them. So when the force of the Eastlings get up here, they're going to be met by, obviously, a lot of these Isengard forces. You've got crossbowmen up on the wall covering the positions. You've got some scouts kind of scattered throughout the defenses. And it seems like Isengard, for the most part, are leaving their more elite soldiers a little bit further back in the second layer. You have the Uruk-hai infantry back here, along with the pikemen and any other units that they have at their disposal. So I assuming this wall is going to be given up. Not given up, but going to be pushed back a little bit easier than maybe if they had the heavier infantry there, you know, the Berserkers getting stuck in. But that doesn't mean that the defenders aren't going to then push forward their forces here and try and defend this wall with everything they've got. Down here we can see how are the Easterling Axemen doing. I mean, the problem is these stones and also these spikes are kind of like slowing up the Easterling assault, and the shield wall of the Isengard scouts seems like it's doing a decent job. And this arrow fire is just racking up a couple kills every single volley, which, you know, really does help out. And there isn't that much left that can be pushed up. We've got some Orc Warriors here, which aren't exactly the best. We also have a unit of the Servants of the Eye, which is very good, but they need to kind of have that breach point already occurring. And then we have just the amazing looking cavalry unit right here. Oh my god, this is like so goddamn good. It really does. I can't go on enough about it. Definitely probably my favorite unit in the entire game, alongside the Axemen and everything else. They're all the Easterlings now. I'm definitely going to be playing them a lot more with this recent update. And we're also going to have to make sure we keep an eye on these sappers as well, because they have new animations now, I think, as well. So they actually blow up a lot more effectively. So we'll have to see how they, you know, if they can get any huge amounts of kills with their all-or-nothing play. And right now, Mordor are doing a great job at securing this initial wall, pushing Dunland back. Taking these towers is huge, because the towers really do rack up a lot of kills if they're left alone. And they're mainly doing it with just Orc Pillagers and Orc Warriors, which is obviously a unit you don't mind kind of sacrificing in the beginning of the game, and then you kind of save the second part of the siege for more of these Uruk Throng and your archers and the cavalry and everything else. And you can see the Mordor general here as well. It'd be very cool for the Mordor if they got in the Mouth of Sauron. That'd be really, really cool as like a specific model part of that Eye of Sauron unit. That'd be really, really cool. Yeah, I'd be a big, big fan of that. And here we go, the first forces from the Easterlings pushing up, the more iconic Easterling units we know and love from the movie here. They're going to be pushing forward in a nice little dense shield wall, just in case they're going to get countercharged by anything. And obviously we also have all of the wall itself being overrun here. And this infantry from the Easterlings shouldn't really falter too much against the Uruk-hai scouts. You know, the Uruk-hai scouts are okay, but they're mainly just a light infantry unit meant for like initial combat. They're not really here to hold, so the forces of Mordor and the Easterlings shouldn't find themselves too troubled with this. And they also have actually already secured this part of the wall, so they can use this ladder to push forward. The defenders have fallen back and set up a nice little choke point here, and I really like it when they do this. Instead of defending the walls, they've kind of made it so that they can counter-charge if they need to, and they can also just charge at them as well. And they're going to be forming up this tight shield wall, ready to receive this. It also allows the crossbows to do a pretty good job at shooting whatever they want to. And right now, they're just trying to pick away this unit of Easterlings right here, the warriors coming off the ladder itself. And just trying to pick off a few targets, soften them up for when the assault comes in. Does seem like, though, they have had enough of waiting over here, and they're going to be charging in with everything they've got. Trying to fight here with their prowess on the battlefield. The Uruk-hai are obviously ferocious warriors. And again, back over here, you can see the forces of Mordor pushing up. And they actually managed to catch a unit of archers back here. And obviously, the Dunland archers aren't going to be very elite. You know, these are kind of, you know, hunters. They're lightly armored, meant for quick moving. And, you know, this unit of Orc Warriors who are probably perfectly set up to take this unit on is going to be able to chase them down. God damn, I hate Attila's lighting so much. Look how dark these guys are here. And then look how light these guys are. Is it because, like, the sun's, like, behind us? I think it's, like, up there. Yeah, I don't know. The lighting can just be so gross sometimes, and it can look so great another time. It's so annoying. Oh, we're having some of the heavier Elder Spearmen being brought up again now. I love the spears on these units, and also the kind of shoulder pads from Isengard as well. But they just wanted to kill the archers, and now the Orc Warriors are going to fall back, looking to not overcommit to this, because obviously this unit of Elder Spearmen are completely outmatching the Orcs Warriors right there. They just basically just want to clear these guys out. We have a unit of these Dunland Chosen right now, a very, very scary unit, huge axes, throw javelins on the charge. We're just going to go straight into the back. So no, did they not throw them? I don't know if they throw through them or not. But either way, they're getting shot to pieces now by the Uruk archers of Mordor. I love the axes as well. They look very Dunland-esque, and all that archer fire is just slaughter. They're running into an MG42 nest, so there's nothing they can do now. Yeah, you literally have 3 whole units of archers just picking them off, and this is great, you know, target priority right now for the Mordor forces, because they do not want to get stuck into there. And this unit of Orc Warriors just taunting them, running away, saying bring it on as they pick off, you know, man after man. And just look at that, the volleys are horrific. And now they're probably going to charge in. Because again, it doesn't matter if you get any friendly fire on the Orc Warriors, because they're such a cheap unit. Whereas I assume this unit of Dunland Chosen are very expensive. They throw their spears now and now get stuck in. You know, even though there's only 35 of them, we'll have to see how well they do against this unit, as the Archer Fire probably will now rearrange their targets and choose something else. But for the most part, it does seem like this outer layer has been completely taken by the forces of Mordor, allowing them to get their archers inside, again starting to focus on this. And I think these are the wolf handlers. Yeah, you actually have the wolf handlers. Man, that's cool. That's really, really cool. And the handlers themselves looking great. How is the rear assault doing? I think it's failed, right? Yeah, it's basically failed. The archers obviously were a big potent threat. Maybe an artillery piece out here would have been a better choice to try and break down some of these walls to get in a little bit more effectively. But it does seem like, yeah, the shield wall did manage to hold, and there's only a handful of units here left now. So we'll have to see what they plan on doing with that. We'll keep a close eye on this map up the top to see how things do play out. Back down in the fighting. You can see the shadow of the tower casting a dark gaze on the settlement. And you can also see, look how cloudy the map is as well. It's kind of almost like, you know, Sauron has moved and covered the sun as best as he can with his mystical powers. If we take a look at the numbers as well for the battle, we can see that both sides kind of lost a very similar amount of men. Obviously, the defenders have spent 25% less of their money, so the numbers can be a bit skewed because the quality is always going to be in favour of the attackers. So sometimes you can see the defenders with more men, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have the better force. Almost always they don't. But yeah, both sides lost around about 3,000 men. Which is actually probably pretty good for the defenders because they have the not as much quality. But again, I feel like Mordor have sent forward a lot of their crappier units first to soften up these assaults. They really need to try and open up this breach point as well, because this is kind of the easy way into the settlement. And if they can get up here, then they can get their archers inside the settlement, and they can get a lot more of their dangerous units in here. And then obviously the assault up this hill is going to be absolutely brutal. There are plenty of positions though for them to go, like, you know, if they can break through this position, they can assault up here, envelop up here, or they've even got some artillery here as well. Probably going to be trying to look to destroy some of the settlement, but also trying to... Oh, this is actually pretty interesting as well. I wonder if you can go through here. Because I know these destroyed barricades can be walked over if they're down on the ground level, but there's a little bit of tearing right there, so... I wonder if you can utilize that or not. Oh my god, this poor unit of Dunland Chosen. It's just like they can't do it. The person playing as the Orc Warriors, Canary Boy, he's just running away, using his archers to pick away these Dunland Chosen. And like, what can they do besides run away? It's pretty brutal. It really is. I don't think there's any cavalry either to capitalize on these archers being so out of position. Unfortunately not. Maybe you could send the Wolf Riders after them. But all the cavalry seems to be down here. And we have some more Wolf Riders going out. Wolf Riders, some Wolf Handlers. Oh, this guy's getting completely sliced in by the amazing Easterling infantry. Just, yeah, they're going to take down these handlers pretty easily. Wolf Handlers, Wolf Tamers. Very, very easily. The cavalry could even come for a rear charge, but I doubt they want to move these guys into position in case they do get picked apart. And the rest of the forces from the Eastlings just mainly pushed up their archers. They've actually committed a large portion of their infantry to this fight. However, it's obviously succeeded as they've really overrun the defenses again out here. We've got some more men coming down. And this is what I like about all these players, is even after they kind of lose the defenses, they still try and reclaim them by sending infantry out here and there. So it's always fun, you know. It's not just like a constant, like they still try and refight. And you can see that by obviously the Chosen coming out here as well. They always try to reclaim or at least slot the attackers. They don't give them an easy time of just running in after they've taken a position. They try and take it back and make them keep their minds on the objective, which is something I always like to see. But it does seem like these places have been fairly taken, and the counter-attacks have also been repelled quite nicely. So these huge axes weren't enough. But the sheer numbers of orcs here are just proving a little bit too much. For Dunland and their Isengard allies. The archers are here in a pretty good position. You have some crossbows and 2 units of Dunland bowmen here. Oh, artillery shot coming right in and getting the direct hit on some Mordor bow rabble. Obviously, who cares? Orc lives do not matter when they are rabble. However, these units right here of the normal archers are probably a little bit more valuable, as they are, you know, obviously a lot more armored, and they can probably do a pretty decent job in melee, for sure. So the gates have finally gone down as well now over here, which is going to allow the rest of the archers. Oh my god, that's a lot of archers here from the Easterlings. They have like 5 units of archers here. They're kind of actually lacking on infantry. Yeah, taking a look at it, the Eastlings don't have that much infantry left, if I'm honest. It'll be very interesting to see if they will be strong enough to break through here. And we really need Mordor to throw their men, you know, at the enemy. I mean, taking a look at the defenses, I guess the defenders don't have that much infantry left. They just obviously have the choke points and the missiles. We're getting some infantry being brought up as well now, just more orc warriors. I assume these guys are going to be thrown up first before the other infantry come up. As there isn't really any time in bringing up the rest of, like, there's no point in this cavalry or this infantry all the way back around. It's just not going to work at all. You know, you take the entire game to get back round here. So kind of what they committed there is what they've committed. The archers are also being brought up now as well, just hammering the enemy missiles. And it does seem like these poor orc rabble are going to get absolutely devoured by the wolves as they come up. And yeah, they're going to have their time. Meat's definitely back on the menu here. However, some of the own arrow fire is coming in. I'm not sure if that's onto the orcs or if that's onto the wolves. Either way, a lot of them did just go down. This orc warrior is going to get back up after being knocked down. And he's going to get stuck in. I think that unit is far gone, though. Yeah, I'm not sure what unit. I think it was actually this unit of archers bringing down the wolves a little bit more. And now Mordor are committing more men into the fight. We have 2 more units of half-orc axes, or orc pillagers even, sorry. The orc pillagers are going in with another 2 units. And then obviously we have some more archers to cover this position and help hit the enemy archers. And then we have these bad boys, the halberds. I can't wait to see them get stuck in. This really reminds me, this unit really reminds me of that Orc Commander in the Extended Edition for Return of the King, where Sam has to fight Frodo in Mordor, and he just like turns his head round. This is kind of like the bulky armor it just reminds me of, which is, yeah, pretty dope. Now they've also brought in 2 fresh units of these orc archers, again, going to be focused down here. And it does seem like the defenders are trying or the attackers, I should say, are trying their best to kind of open up a united front against their enemy. They've thrown a lot of their lighter units up here. Again, I imagine just to simply absorb any javelins or missile fire coming in. And then the arrow fire is solely focused on taking down these pikes, which are going to be, you know, impenetrable. So that's why all the archers are up here. And there's a lot of these archers as well. So once they all start shooting, they should take care of this clump and then allow them to move forward with their infantry. As they only have, like, what, 2 half units here, which is still fighting against the enemy. And then they have a couple contingents over there. They mainly just have archers left, which could prove to be pretty devastating, if I'm honest. Does also seem like the Orc Commander there has a little bit of issues with his sword. Obviously, be sure to mention that to them. As 2 fresh units of infantry are being advanced forward just to try and make a breach point here. Because the thing is, as soon as they can break through one of these units, they can then envelop the entirety of this force. But it doesn't seem like the defenders are going to give this up lightly. And as I said, like, I love this. They're just reinforcing these positions. They know that they don't necessarily, you know, they won't necessarily hold this position. They want to try and make the attackers bleed for every single inch that they do take. So, yeah, advancing this forward. And just, you know, basically forming another line, protecting the rest of their formation, because if any of these units break, then they're just going to get it completely enveloped and they're going to have to completely give up this position. So they're just biding themselves a little bit more time, which is very smart. Over on this side, great unit placement right here, choosing the Orc Pillagers to go in against the Elder Spearmen. It's obviously a smart move. And all the Orc Archers are just focusing this unit elevated up on the hill, trying to minimize the Dunland firepower. It's definitely pretty smart. And there we go. The last couple of units are now being committed into this fight up here. Breaking down some of the Mordor rabble bowmen and then into here. But yeah, we've seen a handful of the units. I think actually been retreated up the hill, maybe? Maybe, actually. Or maybe it's been taken down. So I think they're probably going to secure this position. But there's going to be almost nothing left. Maybe they can use this cavalry to do something. Probably kill the enemy cavalry more than anything else, the Dunland horses. Again, these naked boys with their curved axes. Ready for battle. Itching for battle, I should say. Against the new and improved Mordor and Easterling cav over there. And it's great to see the Easterlings and Mordor getting more, like, actually getting proper good cav as well now. They'll be able to contend with the likes of Gondor because, you know, Swan Knights are pretty goddamn scary. So actually having cavalry and the ability to deal with them is obviously always a smart idea. The archers, though, oh, this was a very nice move here by the defenders. Throwing the archers around here actually, you know, might seem like a super risky, but they're just Mordor bow rabble, so they probably cost like 100 gold. But they managed to basically get their way through this gap to try and get some nice little rear volleys on the defenders there. Watch Sapper's Jackie. Oh, god damn. Where are they? Where are they? Have I missed it? On the archers? Oh, I think I might have missed it. Oh, I'm an idiot. I can't see them. Maybe they blew up already. Oh, I'm so annoyed. I only just saw that thing pop up. I can't see their model anywhere. Oh, my bad, guys. That was really bad of me. God damn it. Thank you for letting me know in the battle, guys. It's just I must have just missed it. I just heard the click and I must have just not seen it. Which is very, very unfortunate. What did they say? Sapper's Jackie, what archers? Oh, over here, yeah, it was saying there, yeah, damn. That's annoying. Oh, well, there'll be plenty of battles to see that unit. I should have just paid more attention. If I'm honest, I completely forgot about them, which is my bad. This unit of Elder Archers up on the hill have a perfect vision. Well, they don't have good vision, but they have a perfect arcing shot down there. As you see the artillery just ranging in the distance. Oh, God, and the ground is shaking. There's an earthquake. Imagine if the Balrog just appeared right now, how insane that would be. Just kind of like Battle for Middle-earth powers. Oh, that'd be so amazing. Imagine. And if I'm honest as well, like if we ever did get a total war, Lord of the Rings, it would be like Warhammer-esque, right? So having Battle for Middle-earth powers wouldn't actually be the craziest thing. Like I could imagine there being ability to summon the Balrog and, you know, stuff like that would be a possibility if they ever did make a total war Lord of the Rings, you know. As much as I would prefer more of a grittier, darker one instead of kind of more of an arcadey fantasy one, I think that, you know, it would be more arcadey, which just obviously is not bad whatsoever. I think you can have arcadey games just as well as you can historical, like kind of more, you can have like historical arcadey games. Just because it's arcadey doesn't mean it can't be like kind of gritty. And when I say historical, I obviously, you know, Lord of the Rings isn't historical, but what I mean is more like historical Total War games, rather like, so more like this kind of style of combat rather than like the Warhammer style. But I think it would be more of like the Warhammer style, just like a refined system. And that Orc Pillar to charge doing devastating damage to both of this position. This unit is the MVP right now, breaking up the defenses, sending these Elder Spearmen far, far back. And it seems like this position has been completely overrun now. How's that standing for the balance of power? So as you can see, the allied forces of the attackers have over 5,000 men now, and the defenders have dropped down just under 3,900. So it seems like the attackers are making amazing progress and pushing them further and further back. The artillery rounds coming in as well now. A lot of them missing, but one getting a direct hit on this unit of Uruk-hai crossbowmen. The defenders are bringing back their own artillery piece. And yeah, you can see the attackers throwing forward. And I think, honestly, this battle is going to come down to Mordor. It seems like all the forces of the Easterlings have kind of blown their load. They have a handful of infantry still left remaining, but they've kind of lost all of their missiles now. And to be fair, these missiles can couple as a lighter infantry unit, so it's not the end of the world. And oh my god, look at this unit right here. It's like a hybrid bowman. Oh my god, that's sick. Look at these bows. That's amazing. Oh my god, I'm in love. I really am. You in love, Ron? Oh, I literally am. That's amazing. A really, really cool unit. So yeah, they've basically completely cleared out the defenders here. Besides this one unit of Elder Spearmen who are still holding firm, but they should be dealt by with the York Pillagers. We're getting pushed back here again, and I think this second layer is going to be quite quick to fall as well, and it's really going to come down to this inner layer, which is going to be the last stand, because yeah, there's a very few defenses here, and we might even see the attackers bring out, yeah, as you can see, that the defenders bringing out their infantry to kind of reinforce this layer, because as you can see, it is starting to crumble. This position is obviously going to go down pretty quickly if these pikes don't do anything about it. There's not that much right here. There's not that much right here. I assume what they'll do is they'll kind of give up this position right here, and they'll just kind of hold like a choke point right there and keep that, you know, kind of a little bit more condensed as the artillery shots come in. Having a bit of friendly fires on the barbecued Urukai or barbecued Orc. Getting a nice little shot off there, but falling back. And honestly, they're gonna, again, this is not like a very aggressive assault by the Easterlings. We don't have that much over here. Obviously, their men are high quality, but this is not a measly rabble of orcs, you know. These are Urukai. Their armor is thick. They're even having to commit their archers now, which, as I said, is not a bad thing. It seems like the Easterling player has now realized that, and he's going to be bringing back a few more of his infantry units just to support his push on the second layer of the settlement, leaving the Urukai to deal, or the Orcs, sorry, to deal with this part of the map. And I'm assuming we'll see the rest of the Orcs being brought into the settlement momentarily as more and more of the archer fire continues just to focus down his poor unit. I felt so bad for Smokey playing as the Dunlin forces, as the arrow fire has just been brutal, but I mean, that's the price you pay, right, for being the defenders. All you can do is defend your line, and if you're getting shot to pieces, you're getting shot to pieces. There's not really much more you can do. They are going to counter-charge against the York Pillagers, though, and just get stuck in it. I mean, it beats being shot to death, so they're going to go in for one last heroic charge. And they're just going to bide their missiles some time as well to fire the last couple shots that they have available to them. I'm assuming these archers will be redeployed maybe around here so they can cover this section. And yeah, exactly like I said, the defenders are just going to hold this position right here. Some of the Dunlin swordsmen, as it, you know, saves them from defending 2 choke points and allows them to just continue to push forward. This unit of Elder Spearmen, though, somehow is still alive. As the Easterlings leave it, it's going to put them in a pretty tricky situation. Oh my god, look at that missile fire coming in as well, taking this unit of Uruk pikes down to 117 now, 116. The numbers will be dropping quickly. So I think the last couple shots will now be used on that. Pikes are getting stuck in, though. Going to try, you know, if they're going to get shot, they might as well try and do some damage. And that's exactly what they're doing. Some more archer fire is going to go over and try and pick off a few of the archers firing in from the Easterlings. Oh, we've got some artillery coming in as well now. I think a lot of them shots did just fall short. Does seem like the Urukai over here, the half-orc axes, are getting stuck in now as well. A great unit to pierce the armor of these warriors and all. We got some cavalry coming in now. The cavalry is charging. Let's get on board with them. Oh, that's amazing. Flying with their lancers, obviously whipping out their skimmies. Are they not equipped with scimitars? No rune skimmies for them, no, just spears. But again, spears diving in against the men from Dunland. Obviously that lance is probably more of a favourable matchup for them anyway. And we get to see this unit in action. And I think the cavalry from Mordor are slowly approaching as well to reinforce this position. Because if they can get some cavalry into the back of the settlement, like, you know, even though they've lost all their infantry in this assault, it doesn't actually spell like, you know, the worst thing ever. Because if this cavalry can still break through, which I don't think there's much to stop them. Besides, like, they could obviously dismount and take care of this these stakes, which will obviously do a lot of damage to the cavalry. But if they could cleanly break through this position, having like half a unit of cavalry pushed up here is, you know, a rear charge into some berserkers, a rear charge into some missiles, like, that could definitely turn the tide of this battle. As the infantry continue to fall back, looking like they just want to basically defend the inner layer now. Literally, this outer layer has been completely destroyed, and the second layer itself is also being brought down. These brave Eastlings get thrown forward once again. More of the bowmen being pushed up as well, looking to outflank this. But yeah, the defenders are in a full-on retreat right now, leaving a few units of these archers basically just to act as a rear guard, try and get all their valuable units into the inner layer, because I think they realize that they're probably going to lose this position. They just want to basically hold these last 2 layers of the defense. I mean, this is such a cool settlement as well. The maps have definitely been very, very impressive recently, and they don't stop impressing. So these artillery pieces have, what, 1 or maybe 2 shots left. These, again, have probably like 2 to 3 shots left. So they still have some pretty valuable artillery pieces. But we also have the artillery from the defenders as well. An entire, basically, half-ammunitioned onager right here, which can seriously do some damage. And the numbers are really starting to drop now. The defenders have only 3,000. The attackers, 4,500. So both sides are bleeding. But, that is the cost of war, I guess. We got the artillery unleashing hell. What's it going to be focusing down? No, going long, going long. Kobe! Kobe! Just dodged as well. There was no one to tell them to stand still as the Uruk Thong fall back. Because obviously this is a unit you definitely want to avoid being hit by artillery dead on them. I think they're just going to be pulling out of range of the artillery, or at least dodging it a little bit, as the rest of the forces are now being just brought further forward. Oh, again, these archers trying to catch them, but I think the half-orc axes are going to escape. Look at that. The infantry are just coming around the corner. Got men blocking them, but they're just going to decide to go in. Oh, this is a risky move. No. Oh, my God. I think there's a bit of an issue with the pathfinding there. Yeah, there must have been issues with pathfinding. It seems like they're just about going to catch them. Kill a decent portion of them as they try and flee. We're going to get most of the unit out, probably 3/4 of the unit back into safety. And I think, honestly, the Eastlings are going to struggle here. They really, really are. They're actually going to fall back now that they've managed to kill about 40 of that unit of half-orc axes, which is pretty nice. But I think they're honestly going to really struggle unless the forces of Mordor send some reinforcements, because, as you can see, like, they have nothing really to get through this pike unit anymore. All their archers are out of ammunition. They have some artillery, I guess, which is probably what they're going to use. Besides that, there's honestly not that much. And Mordor are also obviously going to be using their arrows as well. The defenders have 2 units of missiles, 3 units of missiles left as well, so it's going to be very, very interesting. And yeah, exactly like I said, they dismounted it. I love when I say stuff like, oh, players should do that, and they actually do it. They're just going to dismount to clear out these barricades and these stakes, which is obviously such a smart move. And we also get to see these spearmen on foot as well. I mean, I would love to see this unit on foot, honestly, as a unit as well. Just some spearmen, they look so great. Just clearing out these spikes, making room for the Servants of the Eye. So we're going to be getting this cavalry, probably obviously having to deal with the Dunland horse first. Yeah, probably like a charge against these guys first, and then up the hill, maybe receiving some missile fire from these Uruk bowmen up here.
They're coming over here!
And then obviously their position is going to go and support the assault, which could be pretty useful, as the defenders obviously continue to fall back bit by bit. We do have a counter charge out here. A unit of these Dunland men are going to come forward and try and take care of this kind of frontal force that is pushing forward, the forlorn hope, as it were. Because, I mean, these guys are ripping them apart right now. So many of them dying on the charge. This Uruk unit taking heavy casualties. It seems like it's, not stopping anytime soon. So I'm just going to jump ahead. I'm going to cut out a little bit of this replay once again, just so the attackers can kind of get in position for this final assault. We are seeing the defenders, though, doing an admirable job here, clearing out some, weakened units. But yeah, I'll skip ahead until the attackers are a little bit more into this final layer, so you guys don't have to just see troop movement for a while. Okay, guys, so we are back. The final assault is kind of being kicked off by the defenders as they throw forward this unit of Berserkers into the frying pan. Ready to get sliced up by some of the Easterlings. However, this unit is still very deadly, and even though it might go down, it will probably take plenty of the Easterlings down with them. You see the men just cowering on the floor, looking for hope. There's one soldier trying his best before realizing, doing his haldir at Helm's Deep, and then falling over once and for all. However, plenty of reinforcements are still here. We're actually going to get a unit of cavalry being advanced forward. This unit of cavalry is going to come and help save the Berserkers, or kill the Berserkers, I should say. Which is obviously a very smart move to commit these guys into battle if they can get through their own unit. The Berserkers are going to flee, run away, retreat back, and I mean, they've kind of done their job. I mean, they might survive, and the pikes have been brought back as well. Only 88 of them left as well here. We're also getting a unit of axes engaging the Uruk archers as well, as they're ready to, you know, initiate this assault. There's also a small engagement out here as well. Some of the weakened units from the previous defense have now engaged. And we also have this unit of cavalry down here duking out with the cavalry from Dunland, but obviously the cavalry of the Easterlings and Mordor are going to be far superior than Dunland, which frees up a pretty nice, you know, plan for them. I mean, obviously they've got a unit of infantry coming down here, but they're basically taking 2 units. This is what, like 400 men, almost, give or take, just under, like 300 men, orcs, Uruks, which they've taken away from the main defense, which could be crucial, you know. They don't have that much men still left remaining, and obviously as the assault comes in bit by bit, it's going to be pretty, you know, crucial for them to use every single Uruk and Orc that they have at their disposal. But right now, they basically just want to make sure they protect this point right here, which is obviously why the crossbows are going to be set up here, and then they're going to be supported by the infantry as well. So keeping that morale bonus right there is going to be crucial, and this defensive point. That's why it's kind of a shame that they don't have any missiles or infantry left to really support this final push, because just imagine the damage they would do if they could get this cavalry into the settlement right now as the assaults do get kicked off bit by bit. It would just be absolutely brutal. Does seem like these sally outs though of the weakened units are basically dealt with. There is a unit of Blood Avengers finally going down, which is pretty important as that's a scary ass unit. And these ones over here are almost taken care of as well. Seems like they're going through the wall a little bit. The artillery shots still coming out. Again. Oh, a big hit there on the Uruk archers. I mean, they are just Uruk archers, but they still have some ammunition left, so killing them isn't the worst thing in the world. As more and more infantry get thrown up. Yeah, it's just like they can't really deal with these pikemen, so they're hoping they can make a breach elsewhere. And yeah, I think they're doing this, going about it the right way. This is obviously the position they should try and break, because these pikes are basically unbreakable from the front. So they're going to try and break another position and then go from there. They're supporting their infantry here with a reinforcement of Uruk Throng, and then I assume we'll get more infantry being brought up as well. There's another direct hit off there on this wounded unit of Uruk Throng, which is being thrown forward. And yeah, right now these crossbows is basically just holding this perimeter. I mean, eventually the cavalry is going to have to charge in, but right now they'll just buy themselves some time, keep them units occupied, and yeah, looking for another position to advance. The defenders have seen a weakness in the attackers' line, and they're sallying out with some of their strongest units of Blood Avengers going in, which is just like probably one of the most deadly axe units in the entire game, along with more infantry and even their general as well, looking for revenge for burning the settlement. And they're on the hunt for some Orc archers, and they're going to find them with a wonderful rear charge. And yeah, that's going to probably spell the end of days for this unit of Uruk archers, unless something else can get here, which it doesn't look like it can. I mean, we do have the Morgul Legion being advanced forward, but I don't know if they're going to get there in time to save this unit of archers, which is pretty catastrophic for the attackers, considering, you know, they don't really have, or they still have ammunition left, and they don't really have anywhere to protect themselves. The artillery rounds coming in, and oh my god, the defenders are coming up big with this initial assault out. You can see finding themselves some pretty juicy targets, and now the Morgul Legion having to go in and charge again. So we've got new units versus new units right here. You can see this unit obviously going to be doing great. Obviously the halberds though are a very potent force. Going up against heavy axes though, who's going to come out on top, we'll have to see. They also do have arrow fire supporting them, picking up a few of these Blood Avengers. I think the Morgul Legion will do fine here, if I'm honest. Okay, get a nice close-up of these units. As one of the new Mordor units. Yeah, they're just inching forward bit by bit, taking ground, and I think they will be more than capable of removing this unit of Blood Avengers from the battlefield. Over on this position, they've finally committed to try and breaking through in this, but it's going to be like costly. They might be able to do it, but they probably will be able to do this just with sheer numbers, but yeah, it's going to be very, very costly. And yeah, I mean, there's nowhere else really they can push forward. There's even this unit of Elder Archers, all with their ammunition still intact. And I mean, I think the attackers, it looked like the attackers were quite easy going to break through, but all of a sudden, Ban's power has shifted back. the number of infantry on either side has been heavily reduced, and all of a sudden this battle is looking pretty good for the defenders, honestly, especially if they could break the men here. Oh my god, that would be absolutely huge. However, the Mordor Legion has now replaced the archers, and the archers have survived mostly as the general unit. What happened to the general unit? He just fell back. Okay. But yeah, with that, I mean, I don't know. The archers are coming in, but as soon as the archers are out of ammunition, this Mordor Legion is going to do great damage against anything they come up against. But the Dunland swords are looking potent and actually surprisingly holding their own. I thought these guys would do a little, like, not fare as well, but they only lost 4 men. With the support of the arrow fire, you can see the Mordor Legion dropping like flies. But as soon as that arrow fire is out of range and no longer existing, then it's going to be a different story, I think. And all of a sudden now we're seeing the Easterlings committing the last of their infantry, probably around here, the one big push. But obviously they're going to be going up against some of the White-Hand Stormers, who are just formed up in a deadly testudo on top of the Easterling advance, planting their shields in the ground and saying, this is where we hold them. We've also, I think, got some cavalry up here. Yeah, some cavalry are trying to break through. So we've got the Mordor horses here, charging in. I mean, doing pretty good, taking this unit down to almost 3/4 of the health, which is not bad. 50 men down from this cavalry charge is pretty deadly. I mean, they're basically going to be taken down now, but they've got to do something, right? And every man they kill is going to be useful. We're now getting some of the lancers being thrown up here as well for one final push. And yeah, this is really the attackers giving it everything they've got, because I mean, the defenders are committing out more and more men into this fight. I think they're even moving this artillery piece out here to get a little bit closer. Another charge there. Oh, into the backs of the Mordor Legion. Oh, that's not good for them. That's really not good for them. That's a brutal charge. They're going to turn around, but already you're going to have forces from Dunland inside their formation, which is not only going to hurt their numbers, but also their morale, because that formation can quite quickly get breached. It's done a good job of reforming up this line, but you can see plenty of them going down. More reinforcements being thrown out. So it does seem like they really want to take care of this. You could see the Easterlings, and that's exactly what they are doing. They're taking some of the Bane of the Steppe and bringing them over here. Yeah, they're trying to bring these guys around so they can reinforce and rear charge, I assume, to help out their Mordor allies, bringing them all the way through here and then obviously into the backs of these guys. So it wouldn't be a bad idea for this unit of Dunherd swordsmen to come and cover this gap if they have enough time to do so. It doesn't look like, it looks like they're forming shield wall and just holding, which could, pretty much spell pretty bad things for the defenders right now, as this unit of cavalry could quite quickly break these guys, Probably going to go for this unit, could even go for the artillery. Does seem like they're going to go for the weaker units, which is probably the thing I would have done. Going to be rear charging into the Dunherd swordsman right there. And that's going to obviously be pretty bad for morale. The artillery coming in though, trying to focus down the cavalry, trying to kill that general. And now we're going to be coming flying onto the artillery, but having to fall back there. Yeah, it's risky business. They want to try and move forward and help out the rest of the infantry with this artillery. It's actually out of ammunition now, so nothing too bad there. I mean, honestly, it wouldn't be bad maybe trading generals right now. The Easterlings are very much almost spent, so maybe committing either general to one another would be a great idea. It does seem like the Dunherd swordsmen are beating back from Mordor Legion, which will open up a nice little flank against Mordor on that side of things. And then over on the right-hand side as well, we are seeing the archers just fighting one another. Yeah, the pikes are just too strong in this position, pushing forward and repelling what infantry is still remaining. They managed, yeah, they're not going to break through these swordsmen, unfortunately. The cavalry did a great job. There wasn't really much they could do after the brutal assault on this position, with all the traps, with all the spikes and stuff. The infantry, they just needed like some archers over here, and then maybe they would have fared a little better. So I think the defenders are swinging to start to have a great advantage, but who knows? Maybe this position will break and they'll come flooding through into the final settlement, as there is really nothing left in reserve for the defenders. They have like 2 units in reserve, and that's about it, and obviously a general unit. Besides that, though, they're not looking too great. It does seem like the cavalry is picking apart this smaller unit right now, as the artillery is brought further forward to push back the defenders. So we'll have to see how this one does end up, with the last kind of couple units being committed. I mean, numbers-wise, both sides are down to hardly anything left now whatsoever. So brutal numbers on either side. I feel like the defenders have a very, very nice kind of setup here. We're going to get some cavalry push through though. The Eye of Sauron charging into the back, pushing these guys under the Morgul Legion. And that should be enough to break the last of Dunland on the outer positions. But I mean, like, they don't really have much else in the way of defenses, you know? Like, they still have to grind through, but maybe just by sheer grindiness, they will have just enough men to break these positions. But I just don't really see it, you know? I just don't really see it. They've fallen back after losing several men, and it's opened them up to a pretty brutal charge here by the Servants of the Eye, the general from Mordor, diving in, doing anything he can to try and save this battle, as honestly, this one is so goddamn close. Both sides have barely anything left, and you know, every single man that goes down is just catastrophic. That cavalry charge was brutal. Luckily, though, the forces of White Hand Stormers do form up just in time as they get rear charged or side charged, which is very nice for the defenders. Holding this battle line is going to keep them at bay. However, it does open up maybe a nice little flank there. The Half-Orc Axe is going to get stuck in as well. The assault over on the Dunland side of things is still proving pretty catastrophic for the attackers. However, they are slowly making ground bit by bit. They only really have a couple units of Morgul Legion still left remaining. I mean, literally, this battle is going down to the wire. Neither side really has much left whatsoever. I mean, look at this. You know, the forces of Mordor mainly just have this left, which is a couple hundred men. The forces of the Easterlings mainly have this, and it's just going to be rear charging, cycle charging as best as they can, trying to break up this formation with both the generals. I mean, realistically, that is the only way through at this point in the battle. There is now nothing down this little pathway whatsoever, so this is everything. But it seems like Mordor are just so close to breaking. If these Uruk archers go down, I think that it's going to be the end for the attackers. And what an insane battle. And, you know, sometimes it's a roll of the dice, because I don't always get sent replays by these guys if the battle didn't turn out too well. So when we do these battles live, it's a little bit risky, because obviously, you know, the battle might just not work. You know, things might come up. But this one has been absolutely amazing. And I mean, what a close battle. What a way to end this one. And I mean, honestly, the attackers definitely still have a chance. If they could maybe get a lucky kill on the Uruk general, they're definitely bringing down his numbers, right? He is down to half his infantry on that unit and half on both. So literally, this cavalry charging is working very effectively. And I think they're going to be focusing down here, bring up some more of their archers as well. They just need this cavalry to do anything they can. And the axes are counter-charging them every single time. Over on this side, the Uruk archers are having to fall back now, just not being able to bring them down. I mean, Mordor just don't have anything left. Just like Ian Bill, nothing left whatsoever. The cavalry is coming over, though, trying to maybe rally the men, keep that morale high. But the Dunland horses are now following close, making sure that nothing too crazy happens. The archers being thrown into battle now as well, so literally, this battle could go down either way. The cavalry's probably going to come up and just help clear out these archers, maybe. We'll have to see how that one does go out. But, I mean, as he said, the cavalry from Dunland could quite easily come in here and do a lot of damage to just what is basically just archers left remaining. That could be the killing blow and what they need to finish this one off. The general right there, the Bane of the Steppe, has only got a handful of men left. 29 left in that unit. And as I said, this battle is just going down to the wire. 2 units of archers being brought over to this final duel of fate. Massive breaks over on this left-hand side. 2 units of swordsmen now falling to the wayside. The catapults falling to the wayside. And I think the defenders just have this one. They've committed, obviously, more men over to his flank. But even Mordor are pretty close to breaking. As soon as they get into contact with the infantry, it is over. And yeah, this big mass rout is going to allow them to envelop anything they want to. Obviously, the cavalry is still a little bit scary, but this Bane of the Steppe is very close to going down now. They are going to fall back, but I'm assuming they're going to come back into the fight very soon. Yeah, more and more men are wavering, but the last kind of resistance are being thrown in bit by bit. Just anything they can do. But honestly, I think all they need now is just a full-on assault as the defenders. The last couple crossbow shots come in, taking down many more of the Easterlings, and then falling back as, yeah, the infantry just clears this part out, especially considering they're mainly just fighting against the archers now, which for axes and the White Hand Stormers shouldn't really have too much problem, too much of an issue with. The cavalry go into what is probably their last charge. down to 16 left. They have got 16, they've got silver experience and over 180 kills. But yeah, they're getting stuck in there, trying to pull out once again. But I think as soon as that general goes down, it's just over. I think the Eastlings basically are done for anyway. The defenders are continuing to fall back though, not wanting to commit fully to this fight. The general has come back as well, going to be trying to break this. I mean, to be fair, the White Hand Stormers, the Isengard general's looking pretty low. I mean, who knows? There could be a mass rout here. I just think with the numbers, the Bane of the Steppe is going down to 9 now. Surely the general is still not alive in this unit, down to 6. Hasn't said that the enemy general has been killed though. Oh, there you go. The general has just gone down. That's going to send shockwaves throughout the rest of the Easterling army. Whatever is left, yeah. On this side, we might see a big old break. And that will surely spell the end of this battle. We have the last of the servants now as well. That's the cavalry. The general's going down. So we're just leaving room for Berserkers. As the Berserkers surround this last poor horseman and just swing away at his cavalry. Bringing him down, cheering as they take that down. And now this complete side has been overrun. They could quite easily just fall back now and focus everything. They could even just push out because, I mean, literally they could take this army and bring it out and just try and take down what remains of fire arrows coming in as well. So cool, the unit over here. So they've actually dismounted the general's bodyguard as well. The crossbows are firing out their last couple of shots. They have like fire bolts or something by the looks of it. Which is actually pretty useful because it will lower the morale of the guys here. And as you can see, I'm assuming we're going to get a mass rout momentarily in this battle. And that's going to spell ill for the defenders. And actually probably what we're going to see is this unit of champion reavers get back on their horses and chase down the unit of cavalry, the Mordor general, so that all of this infantry can come around, outflank and end this one once and for all. However, the cavalry is going to go in for a charge. A pretty poor charge. They got caught up on this barricade by the looks of it. Still moving in though, looking to get as many kills as possible. And being sent out. And there you go. The Mordor general is down as well. That's again, you can see a big old rout here most likely. The cavalry can now move around. There's nothing really to fear. And there you go. GG. The battle is over. What a crazy ass engagement that was. The enemy general the enemy general's dead, but his bodyguard's going to go in for one last push. Man, I wasn't sure. The attackers really looked like they had that one right up until the end, but unfortunately, unfortunately they just couldn't hold it, and they went down. They went down in the end. Now the enemy general's going to flee for his lives, try his best to escape, but the battle is over. It is lost. The defenders hold, and now maybe Saruman can advance forward and cause some issues for Sauron and his plan to take over the world. Maybe he won't be so successful. So the cavalry come in and just finish off the last couple. These guys have done a great job though, lots of kills on them. But we are going to see the end of the battle right there. So massive GG there. Big shout out to all the guys who played in the battle as well. Doing these battles live can sometimes be long and tedious, but I really, really appreciate it helping me out right there. Now we can see the kills on either side. The Eastlings new infantry doing a very nice job. 170 kills on a large portion of these guys. The general with a well over 200 and the archers being MVPs as well. On Isengard again, the general, a lot of kills. The Berserkers over 250. Nice indeed. And this unit of half-orc axes of almost 500. This orc bowman unit as well with over 400. Pretty disgusting. Over on Mordor's side of thing, their archers 300 kills. Pretty goddamn disgusting. The Morgul Legion didn't do that great, but they were the focus for most of the archer fire. And then finally for Dunland, we can see that they got 174 kills on these chosen. Blood Avengers over 200 kills. Just some normal swordsmen with 200 kills. And finally these archers of 275 is pretty impressive. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, make sure to drop a like and a comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.